All right. So for today, Kipsters will be able to demonstrate point of view.
I can
Demonstrate point of view.
point of view.
So when we think of point of view, we think of what the character is thinking or feeling. So when I think of point of view, I think about what the character is thinking or feeling. Repeat after me. When I think of
When I think
point of view,
of
I think of
I think of
or about
or about
what the character
what the character
thinks
thinks
or feels.
or feels.
Thinks
Thinks
or feels.
or
So
feels.
let's go ahead and write that. Point of view. When I think about point of view, and we're going to say POV because we know that means point of view. I think about what the character thinks or feels. You're going to have 2 minutes to write that. Thinks or feels. One minute. I think about what the character thinks or feels. I'm writing. So when you can go back in your notes, Ms. Jackson says I need to know what the point of view is. This is where you roll out. I know we've heard point of view many of times. We're going to discuss it because we might not remember just a little bit. 45 seconds left to write. Thank you, Tegan, for writing fast and neat. Nice job. I know you're done because your pencil's down and you're tracking me no matter where I'm walking. All right. 1, 2, 3, you're tracking.
Miss Jackson.
So when we think of point of view, guys, we have different points of view from the character. It could be first person, where the actual character is telling the story, or it could be third person. Somebody else is telling the story for the character. Okay? So I remember we read a book, and it was early on. I don't know if you remember the name of the book. Let me see if you remember. And they were writing. Hands down real quick. They were writing, I think the actual character or the narrator was talking themselves. And they were writing and they were talking about their journey to make it to this different place, all the things that they went, all the things that they had to figure out. Who remembers that? Journey of a Pioneer. Yeah. And who's the girl's name again? Who wrote it? Olivia. Olivia was what type of character was she?
The first person.
Oh, okay, here we go. So, Journey of a Pioneer was written in what? You just said it.
First person.
In first person. Because who was telling the story?
Olivia.
Olivia was telling you. Remember her name? Olivia was telling the story. So we kind of remember that for point of view. So when we think of point of view, we want to pay attention. Is it written in first person or is it written in third person? All right. Everybody say what?
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 What we're talking about is the point of view, right? What we're talking about is the point of view. I care what the character thinks and feels. Everybody say how.
How?
How is the feelings and the emotions. So when I figure out what we're talking about and how we're going to figure that out, those are the words that I think about. Do we understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so when I'm trying to dive in deeper, these are my clues. Who remembers some of the clues that we talk about to help us figure out how our character, to figure out the point of view for our character? Who remembers what we look for when we figure that out? Who remembers that? Who remembers one? Almost. Miss Jackson will tell you. So when we go, just to remind you, we look at the character's words. Let's write it down so we won't forget. We look at the character's words, thoughts, and actions. This is what we'll do. These are the clues that we'll use to determine the character's points of view. We look at characters' words, thoughts, and actions. This is what we're using. These are our clues. So let's title these clues and circle it to figure out the character's point of view. To figure out the character's point of view. We look for their words, we look for their thoughts and actions. I know you're finished because your pencil's down, you're tracking Miss Jackson. Nice job, Caleb. All right, 1, 2, 3, you're tracking.
Miss Jackson.
All right, so we get the clues. This is how we determine the character's point of view. There will be many different points of views that you see in there. But we're going to using our clues. What's one clue again? What's one clue? Words. What else? Characters' thoughts, and what else? Characters' actions. That's what we're going to figure out how we, these are the clues that help us with our character points of view. So here we go. Real quick, we're going to make our graphic organizer. Because Ms. Jackson's going to go through how I want you guys to think. So real quick, since it's the beginning, let's take off our hats. Ooh, let's dip our brains in there. Whoosh. We're deeper. Are we deeper now? All right, here we go. So let's go ahead and make our graphic organizer. We're going to go character, feelings, and my evidence, because I always need my textual evidence in order to figure out, in order to prove where I found my answer. So I can say, I'm not coming in the sky, oh yeah, I know this because my mama said. No, I know this because I looked in my book, I got my textual evidence, and I want to provide that proof of that. All right, real quick before we get started, just one more thing. And come here, Ava. Me and Ava are getting ready to have a conversation. Let's see. Hi, Ava. How are you today? You're good. So, question. How do you like your cat? Oh, your cat is fun. Okay. All right. Thank you, Ava. I'll see you later. Bye. All right. So, Ms. Jackson told you about this. Me and Ava was having a conversation. But what's another word that I said? Who remembers that? It's not a monologue. You think you remember, Andrew? I'm gonna see if you remember. I'm testing your memory skills. I was having a conversation with another person. Or you're having a conversation with the people at your table. What is that you're having? You're doing what? I don't know if you guys remember. We're gonna see. I know it's been a while. Duh. Y'all think y'all remember? You think you remember? What? Of course we're talking and having a conversation. We're having a dialogue. Oh, yes. We're having a dialogue. That's a conversation between 2 or more people that are having a conversation. And then when me and Ava were talking, was I like this in one voice? Hey guys, hey Ava, how was your day? Oh, Miss Jackson, it was good. Were we talking like that?
No.
No, we were talking with expression. What were we talking with? Expression, and that's when you're reading and you're reading the dialogue. What's another thing that we look at in order to figure out what type of dialogue or what type of expression that I'm supposed to be reading with? What do we look at? Well, yes, the character's actions, but what else do we look at? How do we know if somebody's yelling or, oh God, how do we know that? We know the words, we know that, but what else do we look at?
The punctuation.
The punctuation. So what is some of the punctuation that I noticed that makes me go up? That makes me go, what punctuation? Josephine? Exclamatory. So exclamation marks. And what else? Question marks. So guys, when we're reading, and when we're reading dialogue, and we're reading trying to figure out the character's point of view, we're combining all that together from the words, from the punctuations, from all of that. Do we understand? So that's why it's important that we pay attention to all of that. So at the end of the day, we know the character's what?
Point of view.
The character's point of view. We know the character's what?
Point of view.
All right, here we go. Everybody turn to page 1. One second. All right, here we go. Finger track the first word. Ms. Jackson's going to read the first page. We're finger tracking because I want you to think like this. We're going to get some practice in. Right here. Here we go. If only his father, Captain Hansen, hadn't been so sad, Mark Hansen's 13th summer would have been the happiest summer of his life. Mark's dad was letting him help to line up the cars as they drove onto the Aurora. His dad was captain of a ferry boat that carried travelers across the Straits of Mackinac. This would be the Aurora's last year of the Straits. I want you to read it one more time. With your turn and talk, buddy. Go. All right, 1, 2, 3, you're tracking.
Miss Jackson.
All right, 1, 2, 3, you're tracking.
Miss Jackson.
All right, so if I'm thinking of something, I'm thinking, okay, I'm trying to figure out who the characters. What are some of the characters that's been introduced to us? So what's the first character that's been introduced to us? First character, Jaden. Mark. Let's go ahead and write Mark. Actually, let's go ahead and write it down up under our, because Ms. Jackson can't fit under there, up under our chart because we're going to put something else on the chart. So Mark. Who else have we been introduced to? Tegan. Hansen, there we go. Captain Hansen. All right, so Mark and Captain Hansen. Oh, these pages are tricky. 1, 2, let's skip up some. 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. I need everybody to switch to this page. Now we have our characters that we've been introduced to. So we're gonna skip up some. Once you have it, hold it up. Once you have it, hold it up. Thank you, Javier. Thank you, Draylen's group. All right, let's go back. Finger track, get ready. And who are two main characters again? Mark and Captain Hansen. What's the two? Mark and Captain Hansen. And what are we looking for to figure out our feelings? What are we looking for? What are we looking for? What are the key things that we're looking for the characters? What are the key things? What's one? Characters' words. What's another? Characters' thoughts. What's another? Characters' actions. Are we ready to be detectives?
Yeah.
Here we go. Finger track. Get ready. 1. Girls, you're going to get ready to read. Read. Mark read everything he could find about bridges. He read about David Steinman, the engineer who designed the Mackinac Bridge and was supervising its building. Mr. Steinman designed and built bridges all over the world. He wrote poetry too. He said the Mackinac Bridge would be a poem stretched across the straits. Boys, get ready, read. Will be working full-time on the ferry. He decided he would save his money and go to engineering school. While the snow, go ahead, boys, go ahead. While the snow crept down from the roof of their house and up from the ground, closing off the windows, Mark imagined himself in the steamy jungles of Brazil, building bridges across the Amazon River. All right, so 1, 2, 3, you're tracking. So as I'm trying to figure out the character's point of view and actually what they're thinking about and what they're feeling at that certain time, this is what I'm doing. The character that I know I'm talking about, who did I just read about? Who did we just read about? Mark. So go ahead, we're going to write Mark, because he's going to be the first person. And now, I want to figure out, I want to know how he's feeling. What are some of the words in here that I can just imagine about how he's feeling? What are some of the ways he's feeling? What are some of the words or the punctuation or dialogue, if any? How do I know what he's feeling like? Let's go look real quick with your turn and talk. Take 1 minute to reread. 1 minute to reread. And try to figure out what are some of the words or evidence that are given us to tell us how Mark feels. Go.